Time of day and the day of the week.
That's gnomes for you.
You guys are a lot more secretive than our group. We are going into like, oh, and my character's favorite color is blue. Kind of stuff.
Okay, my character's favorite color is probably the same color as parchment.
Ah.
Because it's very comforting to her.
Are you a wizard?
Yes.
Nice.
How could you tell?
You're a gnome, did Sean say? Gnome wizards are really good.
Yes. Oh, intelligence out the wazoo.
That is where it comes out of.
Really?
That's at least my source of intelligence.
Oh, wazoo.
Yeah, I just hate it when my wazoo just like overflows. I just get
intelligence pouring
out.
out.
All over the
Yeah,
floor.
I've been meaning to see my doctor about that.
Sorry,
There's something so disturbing about a flesh-colored tail. That is what we're getting.
It's like a naked cat.
Yeah.
Oh.
God.
Actually, naked cats are really, really cute.
They
So
really
sick.
are.
I think I'm not a big cat guy. I'm a dog person. But if I
Well, you're
was gonna get a
wrong,
cat, I would go for like one of those naked cats.
Yeah.
I had a friend that had one, and there's like 90% of your time it's wiping beehole prints off of the furniture.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine. And they're really high maintenance because they have no fur. They have to be moisturized and cleaned. And
Really?
Oh, that sounds awful.
So how did
Yeah.
they survive in nature before we were like, hey, what's up, cat?
We pretty much made them.
We make
Yeah,
them.
I'm pretty sure
I
we
said
did.
that, and I realized like that was gonna be the
Yeah.
answer.
We were so
Yeah.
busy finding out if we could that we never stopped to think about whether or not we should.
Yeah. They are abominations.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Ooh.
Ooh, you're too good to us. Well, my character's name is Frankie Stonefish. I'm
Is Frankie short for Franklin?
it is short for Franklin. Franklin D. Stonefish. It is short for Delano.
Oh.
I've decided that now.
Oh, look at that.
What class is he?
He's a warlock, a hexblade warlock. The idea was like trying to have like a beefy warlock who could like multi-class into fighter maybe. And basically the idea of it is he was like a human boy. His mom was like, I gotta get rid of this guy. He threw him into the ugly deep, and Playana saved him in return for he'd be part of the ugly deep.
Oh.
And so his patron is
that's the
Playana.
patron. Okay, gotcha.
I don't know if there are other patrons other than Playana and Throsha.
There's got to be one or two.
You'd think, yeah. So I think that's something that the show could be cool at, is exploring that kind of stuff.
So, my character is named Pochi, and she might also be named Rosina or Sarzi or a litany of other names. Those are the three that she's most familiar with in this point in her life.
Oh, so is she like kind of discovering herself, or you just don't know what we're gonna call her?
Names are just kind of fluid.
Okay.
It's like, you know, like your aunt might give you a different name than your next door neighbor, than your boss, etc., etc. So, in like traditional like D&D gnomish lore, like they get dozens to hundreds of names just from anyone, and so like every person will call you a different sort of thing.
Really, that's super cool.
As a result, she gives other people's names. I've decided that I'm thinking Mackenzie's Warforged. She's going to call her Dolores.
Just no matter what her name is.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. She might give the other characters like different names too, but she's attached to the Warforged, so that's meaningful. She likes the Robo Baby.
And do you guys know? Do your characters know each other going in, or are you all gonna meet on session 1?
Well, my character, named Bear J. Logie,
That's sick.
knows one of the characters very well because he made her.
That's Mackenzie's Warforged.
Which I do not know what her name is now, but when I created her, I called her Dusk.
Okay.
I thought her name was Rosie the Riveter.
Rivets. She's a robot.
And the robot from Jetsons.
Oh yeah.
Remember Rosie?
Most likely, though, that she has cast off that name and
Like
taken on her.
Dolores, her real name.
Dolores.
Her true name.
A name that just speaks to her.
And have you and Mac talked about like whether your characters are close still, or is it kind of?
No, we're not
strenuous?
really close. My character, Baird, has some issues with the gods,
Okay.
and the fact that she became a cleric kind of rubs me the wrong way.
What are you doing joining the church?
Very much
I don't know
so.
why he's Jewish all this
It happens.
I think I am going to eat a slice of pizza in hopes that would,
Some tasty
like,
za.
I've been eating a little bit, so maybe that'll help me.
Get
my
your
hands from
wiggles out.
shaking. It'll
You're-
improve mood in the very.
You're just a Nino getting rid of your Wiggles.
That's right.
Do we have paper towels or?
I've just been using this guy as a blotter.
I guess this works. Okay. Sufficient.
All right. In just a minute, we'll like say hi directly to the audience and introduce ourselves.
Oh man.
That doesn't look half bad. I'll take it.
This is a dark brown if you're interested. Like
Hmm.
almost black.
I mean, I think I want something a little bit lighter. Let's see, what's this one? That's actually copper.
Here's a question for the older folks here. Does anyone remember watching the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie on VHS, perchance?
Absolutely,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
I watched
Do you
good
remember the Pizza Hut commercial on the VHS tape?
Oh.
I play right field. It's important, you know. You gotta know how to catch. You gotta know.
I don't
I
remember
clearly
this.
do not know that. I
And
do
the
not
baseball
remember.
fell into my glove.
So that next question, how many times did you watch?
Oh, dude, that was one of the only legit VHS movies that we had. Because, like, we pirated a ton of them because one of our friends had, like, a double-header VCR, so she would just record
Oh, nice.
Disney movies onto tapes for us. But one Christmas, my brother and I got that movie and Ninja Turtles bed sheets. And it was the best.
So I was in college, and I went back and I watched the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles first movie for the first time in like who knows how many years. And I was shocked to discover that there were quotes in that movie that I still said that I forgot were attributed to that movie.
Oh, nice. Like what?
Like, it's a Kodak moment.
Oh, God.
Like, I would say that, and I'd forgotten that it was that movie. And so when it came up, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. My favorite one was Casey Jones. Like, you're claustrophobic. Well, you want a fist in the mouth? I've never even looked at another man. Like a homophobic joke in the middle of everything. I liked how Casey Jones was just this violent Canadian dude. Yes.
Oh, water bowl.
Oh, you're too good for everyone else's?
Not too good for it. It's just the first excuse I've had to use it. in who knows how long.
Fair enough.
It's also my way to continue justifying how stained I made my wife's little pottery bowl.
Look at this guy.
All right. Well, we're totes live streaming.
Oh.
We should probably say some things so that's not completely non sequitur. So I'm going to look at that camera and say say hello, folks, on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Thanks for hanging out with us this evening. My name is Steve Newman. Right here we have Rhea Herman.
Where's the camera?
Ah,
Right there, okay.
there's a number of them. Look around, you'll probably find one. Right here in the hat is Logan Rowe.
What's up?
We've got Nathan Agel over here at the end of the table.
Hey there.
Sean Hunter. And hanging out helping us is the infamous. Do you have a title you go by on stream? First name's fine?
Give me one.
Give
Yeah.
you? Okay.
Still one.
I mean, I
pumpkin.
want to call him the Booth Goblin, but that feels so negative.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Booth Goblin.
He's a good buddy of ours. We are beginning a new show soon here on HiveChannel5.com/streaming on Twitch and other places called Tales of Throsha. You can see part of our cool logo back there on the big screen. We're going to be doing a D&D campaign, which, if you follow our channel at all, might sound quite extraordinary, because we play D&D on this channel, but it's sort of a special, unique form of D&D that mixes live physical improv and like physical challenge elements in, and it's a whole lot of fun. It's called Enter the Hex. If you haven't ever checked it out, I would recommend doing so. But tonight we're getting together and we're just painting some minis in preparation for our new show, which is going to be launching, we believe, next Wednesday evening. We hope you'll join us. But in the meantime, do you guys have anything that you would like to share or promote or, I don't know, otherwise say before we just kind of resume chatting amongst ourselves?
Enter the Hex Season 4 is tentatively scheduled for January, so fingers crossed that the world does not burn down by then.
Yes. In an ideal world, it's January 15th even.
Yeah.
This isn't an ideal world.
We've been a far cry from an ideal world for a little bit, but
One might call it the Ides of January.
Oh, man.
Ooh,
Ooh,
that makes it
should
sound
we go
ominous.
there? Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
a little unsettled now.
I mean,
no, we're all a little unsettled these days. But that's why it's good to get to hang out and do fun
Yeah.
stuff like paint minis and do D&D shows.
I would say if you are watching because you're fans of Enter the Hex, but you want to see a much more classic Dungeons and Dragons, then come check out Tales of Throsha, because that's going to be like the nitty gritty. I mean, that's where the minis come in. It's
Right.
it's all the greatness of just classic D&D.
Yeah, so instead of changing character, is there another camera? Yeah, instead
Right
of
over
changing
there. Easier for
characters,
you.
I know, right? Instead of changing characters every few weeks and cycling through and like having votes and booms, it's just a traditional campaign where there's going to be 4 characters per campaign, and we're just going to keep going through the dungeons.
You bring up an interesting point. You said per campaign. I don't think we stated. We're actually going to have 2 totally separate groups running on different
that's
evenings.
Right,
that's pretty baller.
The first group is going to be running on Wednesday nights. The second group is going to be running on a night that is being figured out.
Who's hosting that first game, Steve?
Who's hosting that first game? I have the pleasure of being the dungeon master of that first game / hex master,
Huzzah!
which I'm very excited about because all of our players are phenomenal. And we're missing one tonight. Mackenzie, if by any chance you're watching, rest up. We hope you feel better. And she will be with us soon. And I hope you get your mini painted. We'll figure that out. No worries. But yeah, our second group, for longtime fans of the show, this is a bombshell, is going to be run by none other than Patrick Newman,
Yeah.
the Hex Master from Season 1 of Enter the Hex, which is very exciting. Very well-loved person here at the Hive Collaborative. And in his group, we have Nathan Agel. We also have 3 others who will probably be having their own painting party night as well. And maybe Mackenzie comes to that one, I don't know. But we have Max Holtz, who's a Hex alum. Everyone's a Hex alum. We've got Max, we've got Darcy from Seasons 1 and 3. And then we've got, who am I forgetting? Oh, Tori, who was Onan in Seasons 1 and 3 of Enter the Hex.
With a booming voice like this.
That is accurate. So in the meantime, if you want to hang out with us while we paint some minis and we eat some pizza, you want to like pop some popcorn and put your feet up, you've earned it, folks. You've made it this far into
Yeah,
2020.
okay.
You have
Been,
heard it.
been a long week and it's only Tuesday.
That's right.
We're gonna have a nice chat while we paint.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Has anyone seen the new trailer for Mandalorian season 2?
I just saw that it like dropped today, was it? Or
I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but I was I was getting in my car when I saw the text from my friends, and so I was like really tempted to try and watch it, and that was a
Yeah.
terrible idea because I had to drive. So I have not watched it
That
yet.
seems pretty safe.
I have not yet watched it either.
I'm very excited. I'm very, very
It's gonna
excited.
be
I just
good.
want to do some wide washes. I'm tired of this detail stuff.
Yeah, I'm very much a Star Wars fan, and it's nice to have something Star Wars related that I can still feel really excited about.
Yeah.
Not to get too controversial, but I think there's bigger things. Anyways.
I was mentioning this to them, so I've kicked caffeine,
Okay.
but today I had a little bit,
Uh-huh.
which having caffeine after not having it for months has made me very shaky in the hands. So painting has been incredibly
I
difficult
was about
so
to say,
far.
this is a rough evening to have shaky.
I didn't think about
Yeah,
that.
it's a good thing you don't need like precision or anything. Or this would be real hard.
I was the nicest brother. How true is that?
Actually, Davis was pretty nice. Davis was very patient with how annoying we were.
I only had to throw them out of my room 5 times a night sometimes.
That's true.
That happened a lot.
We thought it was very funny to hang out in Davis's room and then see him kick us out when he inevitably wanted to go to sleep.
They'd be in my bed. I'd come home, I'd come to my room after being somewhere else, and I'd be like, why are you two in my room? Then I had to throw them out physically.
That is siblings in a nutshell.
I was gonna say, pretty quintessential. You're kind of just doing your job as a younger sibling.
And you as an older.
Yeah.
Sean, thanks for bringing a mini that I could paint.
If you want to
Saying
help
that
me
it was
with
cool.
mine, you totally could, because I'm struggling.
I'd be happy to come and take a peek. So long as you understand I'm not like a professional opinion.
I guarantee your leagues that it.
Technically speaking, Steve, you are being paid. So you're being is by definition professional.
Whoa.
I don't know, at what point am I doing something in this theater and I'm a professional or not? Like,
At the moment, I'm a professional pizza eater. We're all technically
Look at
professional
that.
people.
yep,
That's living the
I have that on
dream.
my business resume.
it is living the dream.
Do we want to talk about, for anybody who is watching, like our race in class or things like that for the stream?
It's a great idea.
Introduce our babies a little bit.
Like who we're painting.
Does anyone want to kick us off?
I'll kick us off.
Yeah, you will.
So,
It really kicks me.
I don't know if there's a.
There's one above you.
You can just run it up and show it to the camera.
There's
like
one right
that.
behind you if you want to do it close. I'd recommend the middle one.
This one?
Yeah. Maybe shine a light on it. Yeah,
I was about to say, we're going for the dramatic silhouette.
Alright, you're just getting a silhouette of them. I just started painting Baird J. Logie. He's an alchemist. Well, he's an artificer and he is a battlesmith. So he's going to be coming into this game with a pretty cool little steel defender companion. That's a big old steel Dog de Bordeaux dog. It's really cool. You'll see it eventually. He's like late 40s. He's a human. I want a human. You know, every team needs at least a human on it. So that was neat. Anyway, I can't tell you everything about it.
You gotta let him discover stuff over time, for sure.
He's gonna be pretty cool. I can't wait to play him.
Have you ever played an artificer before? Or
No.
Artificer? I don't know.
I have not.
Both
I'm
pronunciations are allowed.
I'm so excited for you. Like I know I keep saying this, but like I'm over the moon right now. I love artificers.
Yeah, I think that they just seem really cool.
Chuck those vials.
try and do like a body coat on this guy, and then I'm gonna eat
Robots.
some pizza. Who wants to introduce their character next?
We can just go around. I can go next.
Go for it.
Absolutely should.
I'm playing. His name is Frankie Stonefish. He is. The way I thought of him was if Danny Zuko and Shark Boy had a baby, was like the idea behind him originally.
Which is a dream that Nathan had once.
Yeah, and it was an amazing night. But he's a warlock from the Ugly Deep. He's a Triton, and he really wants to find his mom, and that's my guy.
So Triton is like a fish person, like a merman,
Yeah,
kind of.
It's a
but
merman
with legs.
It's like if someone like painted an elf blue and said he could swim.
And just to recap for those who might not remember, what is the Ugly Deep?
The Ugly Deep is a ocean that is impossible to sail in, brought upon by magical means, and is kind
Hashtag Clan Malthior.
it's
Thanks.
it's got a lot of upsides for Throtians and a lot of downsides. Mostly upsides because it keeps the invading nations away.
Keeps out the Gigantes.
And the Fire Nation.
And the Fire
Yeah.
Nation, most importantly.
Fire Giants, because we very nearly wiped during that battle.
That's
Spoiler alert.
That was so close. So close, both ways.
I can't remember, was I also in that battle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that was the
You
last
got
All
away.
four of us
thing.
were.
Yeah, I was so.
They sent
Yeah.
you ahead with the goods to make sure the package
You
got
were the
delivered.
smart one out of the four of us.
Mhm.
Who?
That's right. I was gonna have Tilly. I don't know if Tilly's gonna come back to Enter the Hex one day or not, but I was gonna have her be really salty towards any future barkeep.
Mhm.
As a result of that, she's gonna be like, "Oh, barkeeps are just here to kill us for their own enjoyment," and
Mhm.
blah blah blah. And it was good.
I hope she does. Everybody's just getting along, and that's super boring.
We're all
80 to 100, and she is, I mean, like very cliche, traditional, studious, things like that. She has a lovely familiar, an owl named Orbis, and I don't know if I should read. There's light.
Your hand is in the.
Oh. I'm doing real good at this.
Yep, there you go.
I see it. There we go.
Huzzah.
So yeah, she's got a little familiar named Orbis.
Nice.
Yeah, little D20. She's a divination wizard, so the idea is.
It dawns on me that when we're over by that
No,
camera.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Oh,
I just want to speak up a whole bunch.
All your mics are over there.
Yeah.
Oh.
she's fabulous.
Just don't be
Kind of
afraid
what
to
it boils
shout.
down to.
Project.
So, what was I gonna say to you guys? Oh yeah, that's divination wizards are super.
Oh
cool.
yeah,
I haven't done one yet, but I'm excited.
that portent is awesome.
It is really
That's
cool.
such a cool feature. Because you can just, Big Bad does something and you'd be like, actually, we're rolling at one.
No. Yeah, I almost went for the Chronomancy wizard too, but I kind of like the idea of rolling the dice at first and just keeping them there.
What does Chronomancy do?
It also has to do with dice rolling. I know that, and there was something about divination that struck me better, and I think it's just that I would have them at the beginning of each long rest.
And just like narratively, like just like explaining your moves as a divination wizards, I think is really really cool.
Yeah, agreed. I like how many options there are for wizard schools in PHP.
I'm a sucker for wizards, though. They're one of, I mean, I love full casters, and so wizards and sorcerers are like on the castery-est castery end of the scale, and they are my absolute favorite.
Going to cast a magical storm, a wizard blizzard.
A wizard blizzard.
Sean, have you told us about your character yet?
No, I have not. My character, you can't really see him very well, which is a good thing because right now he's not looking super hot. He is a tiefling wild magic sorcerer. His name is Yuri Prospero. He's a fancy, well-to-do man about town from a very upstanding family. Thinks that he's a wizard. Thinks that he has control over his magic, but most assuredly does not. So that will be pretty fun to play with, I think. But yeah, he's not terribly smart. Has a thing for cursed items, and like if they go with his outfit, he's just like, whatever, I'll deal with that. And his brain may or may not be being perpetually devoured by a magic hat that he's fond of.
But it's just life, right? You know, an average day.
Like you do.
Like 2020.
Yeah.
Oh, too real.
I need to stop going back there. This is supposed to be fun.
It's too real, Roy. It's too real.
It's one of my favorite quotes from that show. Honest to goodness.
Those glasses, isn't it?
Too real, Roy. It's too real.
So, Logan, if you could go back and not jump off the cliff, would you?
Oh no.
Totally worth it.
No. I would do exactly what I did.
He would only do it faster.
I'm never really having fun unless I'm playing my character to the full extent of
Yeah.
who that character is.
You gotta play to faults.
And you do a good job of like, you know, playing your, at least from what I've seen of Booball, like, you did a really good job of like, you played your character, but you were making sure not to like, metagame or like
Yeah.
step on anybody else's toes.
Yeah.
Like you were really good about that.
Thank you.
I like how positive this is. The real treasure was the friendship we found along the way.
Oh, hey. You want to see what the chat's saying?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Very cool. Can't wait to see the final results. And
Ooh, yes you can.
cute.
We are cute.
We're adorable.
Also, I can't. So excited for the show. Also stated.
Radical.
I'm glad.
We're excited for the show too.
He
said radical.
I say radical. I feel like I'm gonna
XCat42 says cool.
It's gonna be so cool.
I mean, we're already pretty cool, so.
Can I borrow a blue of
No.
the,
I would
of the
rather be
nicer-
dead
Oh,
than
man,
share with
okay.
you.
It's like a whatever. If there's a light blue
A light blue?
or whatever the lightest blue.
Premium
I've got-
cadmium.
A royal blue of sorts, you might say, or a bright, not
I
Well,
have a McCrad
not
blue.
like
Dodger blue,
Ooh,
perhaps?
Mine's like a navy blue.
If you're willing to risk, is it Calidor Sky?
I'm
McCrad blue.
Oh, you said the name already. My bad. I was about to say, if you want to mix some blue with some white, like painters do,
ooh fancy. I would do it.
I dare you. Put a little bit on your plate.
Pixar, it didn't happen.
Good thing we're live streaming.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have no secrets here.
Oh no. How am I gonna
Yeah,
make
just
this
do
work?
like a real big dip in there. Pull out your brush, put it in the corner of your plate, make a little pile. Do another good dip. Rinse out your brush. No, don't rinse out between. Sorry. Do two of the same color, then rinse out your brush. Then add a little bit of a brighter blue, or excuse me, like a white.
I see you in the park,
I speak
you're
English.
always wearing
It's
Dodger
fine.
blue.
It's been a very long time since I've painted.
I've never painted a mini with a mustache. It's gonna get interesting.
That's where the mini mustache route comes in. They're our sponsors for season 4.
So in our experience and history of D&D, what's the longest campaign any of you have ever played in?
Ooh.
My first campaign
Mhm.
was actually my longest.
How long did that go?
It lasted, it was over a year, but not by much. Maybe like 13 months? 13, 14 months. And it was with Patrick Newman as my dungeon master. I played a bard, and it was like the most downer ending,
Oh,
because only my bard survived, and the bad guy
Oh.
won, pretty much.
oh no.
Could you pass me a white also?
What level did you guys get up to?
Yeah.
Everybody else got to 13, and I got to 15.
Oh,
Thanks
level
to-
15 bard is no joke.
Yeah, well, and I mean, since this is absolutely the venue where I can get into like the nerdiest aspects of this conversation for me, I started going into my headcanon of how at level 15 I could cast Resurrection, and so my bard's personal quest in headcanon was to go around the world collecting gems so he could start bringing back his friends.
Oh.
I love that. That is nice.
Sean, could you pass me a white?
White?
Yeah.
That's
That'll
all way to
work.
take all my friends to death.
Thank you.
Yeah, in Patrick's defense, we just really needed to end the campaign for like personal reasons, but like that's just how the finale played out.
That is a bummer. I like that motivation though. That makes sense for a bard.
Whoa. You were right, Steve. You made a lovely light blue. You are a painter professionally. You lied.
Yep,
Um,
I've got the high dollar secrets. Mixing white and blue makes light blue.
The longest campaign I ever played was so the first like full campaign we ever did was Court of the Dragon Queen. We only got it to like level 7, but because we couldn't meet up as frequently, it lasted over a year for us to finish that one. So we got to know characters really well. But the highest level I've gotten in a campaign was 11, and that was just recently when some friends and I were playing Ghosts of Saltmarsh, which was a lovely campaign. Not a true one. It's just a series of adventures that they kind of cobbled together for the story, and then our DM was just really, really good at making everything cohesive and tying everything together. And I'll have you know, my character, a ranger, killed the 2 big bads.
Nice.
Rangers get a bad rap.
They do.
They don't deserve it.
Yeah, he pincushioned one dude in the eyes, and he got swallowed by a kraken and had a wand of fireballs, and was just like, screw it, guess what's gonna happen, everybody? And just imploded it from the inside out, and everyone in like for miles around ate fried calamari.
Oh, that's
You're the true hero.
Yeah.
What I'm hearing is that you fed everyone for miles around.
Yeah.
A starving nation.
Mm-hmm. Gonna ladle out soup to feed and entertain the firemen.
So the longest campaign I've ever been in, it's currently going on. I'm the dungeon master for one. It's been going on for about 5 months now. Yeah, and that's pretty fun. It's just like a homebrew story that we're doing. But the longest campaign I played in was Enter the Hex,
Mm.
where we met consistently.
Yeah. Sorry, lose hair.
Longest campaign I have done was a campaign with some friends of mine. It wasn't a pre-made campaign. It was like a homebrew story. Lasted about a year and a half-ish,
Mhm.
and it was really fun. I played a cleric. She was a dwarven cleric, she was like the mom figure of the group. And yeah, but there was a lot going on with like fey magic and a lot of like corruption and sorcery and things like that, and it was it was getting intense near the end, but just so many like real life stuff was getting in the way and scheduling conflicts, and eventually it just kind of had to peter out and quiet down. But it was pretty damn fun. Sorry, pretty dang fun.
You can swear, it just has to be in another language.
Oh, right.
That is the rule.
Mine would be a homebrew campaign played with some family and friends, and we reached about the year mark on that one. Just a lot of fun. I was the DM.
And are you a big fan of homebrew areas, or do you like to go buy the books?
I am. I would say that if you are starting off as a DM, I would recommend picking up some of the printed campaigns, because there are some great things out there. But me personally, the writer in me and the creative side of me, I really wanted to explore and do my own stuff.
That's how I feel. I'm with you there.
And so I used to teach mythology at the middle school for 6 years, and was learning all about different myths and that, and really fell in love with Norse mythology. So I created a campaign that was based entirely off of the Norse gods, because I knew the myths and the characters and the gods inside and out.
Was
and I
it
like,
very
oh, it'll
like
be very fun.
Viking-y also?
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
super
yeah,
fun.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
It was, and it's been a blast playing it, because it's still going to this day. And
How often do you
Yeah.
guys meet?
Once a week to every other week around.
That's really good. Wow.
So this is the second campaign. We played one campaign. Some people in the group ended up leaving Utah, moved to California, so we had to kind of stop it. And then we had some coming back from California, and rather than pick up where we left off, because it had been almost a year, I was like, hey, what if we went Norse? And we just started a new one, and I've been playing ever since.
That's boss, man. Is it were the gods taken directly from mythology, or did you base them off of them? But like,
Oh, they're straight. I mean, it's
Okay.
Odin and Thor and
nice.
Helen, all of them, and what's fun is each of the characters basically have to have like a patron god, and but Norse gods are almost all battle gods. They're like all about war and that. So it's been interesting and fun to see how they differentiate one from the other.
Do you have Sleipnir in there?
Oh, he hasn't made an appearance, but he will gallop in with all of his glory at some point.
And Loki won't want to talk about it. Loki's just like, let's just not. Guys,
They
let's
just
not.
recently learned that that Jormungand, the Midgard serpent, is
Oh, yeah?
the child of Loki, and they're like, what?
Loki's got a messed up family.
He's got-
Fenrir
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
the
and
Midgard serpent.
Hela.
Yeah.
It's been a good time.
What was the blue I put into this? Does anyone remember?
This one right here, I think.
Oh, is it hiding there? Oh, okay. Thank you.
I feel like this looks a little greenish. Does this look kind of greenish?
It does. It's like it's like bleached bone, but maybe there's a little bit of rot to it.
Yeah, okay. Maybe a little too green for an owl. But
Oh,
I
are you looking for more of a bone color? I've got bone white over
look
here.
at the bone white.
Yeah.
I just feel like a bone color is better than like a sheer white for an owl.
It's that one there on the end.
I'm gonna eat some pizza. Like, I'm asking y'all slow for a minute.
All right.
Pizza.
Y'all need drinks?
I'm good, thank you though.
I'm still working on mine.
I mean, if you want to pick up a sixer at 7-Eleven, I wouldn't say no. Oh, nothing.
I mean, I'm old enough.
What?
No.
No. Okay.
What?
Say that to my
I
face.
finished a six-pack, and I'm like, I beer.
I did say a sixer. This beer is wonderful.
Beer's boring.
I'm brewing my own as we speak.
Doesn't look like it.
I found they sell brewers kits at Target around Christmas time, and afterward they go on sale. And I had bought one and just like put it away. And I recently found it, and I'm just like, well, summer's almost over. That would be kind of nice to like make something and have it ready by Halloween. And I'm calling it Jägerbrau because Jaeger is German for hunter, which is my last name.
Oh.
Makes sense. Yeah, that tracks, that tracks.
Yeah. So I'm mixing in rosemary because I love the taste of rosemary.
And how long does it? How long does it take to brew? Or how long do you want it to brew?
About a month is what I'm doing. So I'm gonna have it ready and be all ready to go by Halloween. You can buy like bottling kits and stuff. So I'm gonna print up some Nito labels. Whole shebang a bang.
By Costco today, and they have released the eggnog very early this year.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
I think they're,
Costco eggnog is the best eggnog.
Yeah.
it's a really good one. I
I
wouldn't give
really
it.
like
I wouldn't give it number one, but I would give it a very.
What's your number one?
Southern Comfort.
Ooh.
Oh, no, that's it's in like the black
black garden is their normal flavor. They have a red garden that is their
It's like the spice one.
yeah.
It's not pumpkin spice, but it's
No.
something. Yeah.
I think it's vanilla spice.
I've had that. I do enjoy it, but there's something about the creaminess of the Costco.
I can respect that. Costco eggnog is very good, and like $1 an ounce is a great deal.
I've never been a big eggnog guy. Like, it's good, but like, I guess I gotta try it more. Maybe that's what's
It is a bit of an acquired taste because like most kids don't like it.
My
Yeah.
3-year-old downs more eggnog than I do.
That's great.
It's the secret to his great head of hair.
I had a
Oh.
semester in college where I dedicated
taller
myself
if
to
I just
ranking all the eggnogs that they were selling locally, like writing a review on Facebook about it.
So my go-to holiday drink is mulled wine.
Yeah.
I always make that for Po night, but it's nice to because it's by that time it's gotten a little bit colder, and so yeah, you heat it up with like orange slices and cloves and cinnamon and anise, and it's oh god, the smell alone is wonderful.
I'm not familiar with what was that holiday you said? Po night?
Po night, yeah. So Po night is a tradition that a roommate and I started like back in maybe 2010, and it's just kind of been going ever since. We've missed a couple years. Last time I did it though, I rented a cabin up in Brighton and just like hosted people for the weekend. It was cool.
What do you
That's awesome.
what is the festivities of Po night like?
Everybody dresses up. Sometimes there's a theme, sometimes there's not, but everyone lights a bunch of candles. You read Poe and Lovecraft and Washington Irving, all that kind of stuff like candlelight, poems and short stories, and it's just a good time.
It's like
Sounds fun.
Mary Shelley and her whole crew.
Exactly. Yeah, that is an awesome story. That is such a and for like a 17-year-old in the early 1800s, that's pretty baller. Hanging out with freaking Lord Byron and
Yeah.
and Oscar Wilde.
When is Po night?
This year, normally we do it like the week before Halloween, so that people can still have their Halloween if they want to do stuff. But yeah, normally it's the Saturday before Halloween.
Mm.
This year, that's probably what's going to happen. It's going to be a slightly smaller event this year, but yeah, it's a good time.
What would get you more excited than renting a cabin?
Oh man, that was so cool. Yeah, it was up in Brighton and just kind of the middle of nowhere. We renamed it the Overlook, even though it wasn't really overlooking anything. But
That's a cool name.
Overlooking your heart.
yeah, it was by one of the ski resorts. Let's go Bat and Black. Put some silver on top.
Okay. Carb loaded. Let's get to work.
I really like the names on these Citadel paints.
Oh yeah.
They're intense.
Yeah.
They're all references to the Warhammer 40K universe.
Oh really?
If I sing the song, will someone be my backup vocalist?
I don't know what the song of that is.
It's
Just a little crush, not like I faint every time we touch.
I don't know this.
Well, it doesn't predate you. It's like from when I feel like you're a little older than me.
That's cool.
I
think.
So I grew up in Yosemite and we didn't have a TV.
Is that how
So
it's
we, like-
pronounced? I thought it was Yosemite. I'm kidding. I didn't. Sorry.
That joke is wrong.
Yeah.
I know.
You should-
Oh boy.
Yosemite.
Yeah, so commercials escape me.
Oh,
most
that
of the
wasn't our
time.
commercial. That was like a pop song on the radio.
Yeah.
From back when.
Oh.
I couldn't even tell you who sang it.
Me either.
It was like a one-hit wonder.
But it was one of those earwormy moments
Yeah.
where it's just, and then she whispers, just a little crush.
And that was one of my favorite things was some of the very 90s pieces of music that came out. I was talking to some friends about like one of the most quintessential 90s songs we'd ever heard. My submission was Kiss from a Rose by Seal. The lyrics make no sense whatsoever.
Uh-huh.
And the music video involves him standing with his shirt unbuttoned by a fan while it blows.
As happens often
Yeah.
in the 90s.
Like you do.
It's a normal day in the
Yeah.
1990s.
I'm pretty sure that's how I was born.
Kiss my roses.
That just reminds me of Batman Forever.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yep.
And the soundtrack of Batman Forever, like all of the songs.
Mm.
I remember.
It's been a long time.
Oh man.
Well, it's like the first Tim Burton Batman movie. The entire soundtrack was like written by Prince, and they kind of went along with that vein.
Hadn't made his pact with Danny Elfman yet.
Well, no, Danny Elfman did compose the instrumental stuff, but
Oh,
like
okay.
all
But
of
not
the
the soundtrack.
yeah.
bits.
All of
Yeah.
the Joker hits. Wasn't he?
Black and white, red and green, the funkiest thing we ever seen. R.I.P. Prince. Strange androgynous human being that's apparently an amazing basketball player.
Really?
According to one
According to
Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy, yeah.
Yeah. An amazing guitar player too.
Yep. Oh, dude, have you what is it called? Stevie Wonder, What the Fuss? Prince played guitar on that song and writes this riff that is just the funkiest, coolest thing I've ever heard.
You know, I might just be at a place in my life where it's time to go down a Stevie Wonder rabbit hole. It's been a long time.
It's always a good decision.
It's been a long time.
Now, I'm going to ask either Sean or Logan, two people who are much more experienced in painting minis.
No,
Lo-
this guy.
Logan.
What's up?
How's mine turning out? Like, was there anything I should be focusing more on?
I'm a little
Like,
disappointed.
I don't know. I don't know.
You know, I've seen better.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
No doubt.
No, I think this is coming along very nicely. Are you? What's like the base color for the clothing?
The jacket is black, and I don't know for the pants yet.
Seaweed green.
Could go for like a dark gray.
A sea turtle leather jacket.
Ooh.
I would just say, so you
Now I
could
feel
do.
bad.
No, how you're doing this is actually pretty nice. I like to do some of the lighter colors first, and then like a darker color. So if how do you say this?
That's a certain je ne sais quoi.
If you are going to do the pants next,
Okay. Thinking like a. What?
like it's the little parts where the paint's going over this, like onto the sash. That should be very easy to cover up and things like that.
Yeah.
So, no, I think you're looking
This is
good.
nerve-wracking.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
Keep
the
it
detail
up.
work of painting isn't totally relaxing for you?
No, I've not found my zen yet.
Yeah, me either. Well, that was a terrible idea. Why did I do that?
It's okay, we'll get it in post. It's every producer's favorite phrase.
So what was everyone up to today?
Oh, work.
Good day at work though?
Oh, no.
Oh.
No.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was a pretty crazy day at work.
Where do you work, Sean?
I work at Talacrus Plasma Resources in Provo.
Wait, the Plasma Center?
Uh-huh.
The one
I
on
just,
900? Or is it a different
No,
one?
so the one on 9th is Biomat. We're Talacrus, we're over by DI.
Oh, okay.
So it's run by the same company. Same like policies and stuff. But yeah, I actually just gonna be celebrating my 10th anniversary there
Oh, it's sick.
as of the 3rd of this month.
Sean, can I steal a silver from you?
Yeah.
A dark silver? That'd be wonderful. I'm not picky.
Okay. For my Manticore main.
This one's a little crusty, actually.
Your main.
Wait, it says dry.
Manticore.
Oh, so that's a dry brush.
Okay.
Oh,
So yeah, that's like you kind of paint over other.
to kind of give it texture. There's Celestra Gray.
What's
Do
that
you have any-
other gray right there in that bin? That one, yes.
That is Sterling Mud.
That's
Mud.
actually like a put it on the base.
Okay.
Literal,
Do you have
like,
the
thick,
silver over there?
goopy
Is
mud
this-
stuff.
There's a few different silvers
That
here.
guy's silver.
There are a few
Yeah,
silvers.
that's steel.
Rune
Yeah, I
Prince.
had a couple different
Pretty
silvers.
Yeah, let's go with it.
Cool.
had like a light silver and a dark silver. Oh, I'm sitting on top of Lead Belcher, which is like my super dark one.
That's what I'm using.
Yeah, I actually just moved over by Steve. I'm on 625.
Yeah.
625.
You're on
north?
the internet,
Yeah.
Sean.
Yeah.
Does anyone have
Yeah,
any
you
other
live crazy close to me now.
skin tones?
Yes, I got a lot of skin tones.
Kislev Flesh. That's the one that mine is called
Yeah.
somewhere.
I think I use
yeah.
the dwarf skin or whatever on mine. They've got cadmium skin.
That one's
Mine is
very
Celador
red.
Sky
Shake this guy.
mixed with
Oh, I like the
Korax
look.
White.
Thank you.
Not bad.
So,
Cover that
has anyone at this table ever played a game called Twilight Imperium?
with- No, but I keep hearing how amazing it is, and I hear that it takes forever.
Well, after this Saturday, I'll let you know more. And depending on my experience, might be like, Sean, you need to come play this game.
Or don't.
Or, Sean, I don't know about it. But yeah, it's famous for being like 8 hours.
Yeah.
It's also famous for just being a really good game. I'm going to play it for the first time this Saturday, so I'm very excited.
You're gonna go for your entire Saturday.
Well, we've
Oh,
got
no.
Hex rehearsal Saturday morning, so I'm starting Saturday afternoon and going into the late hours.
Enter the Hex coming tentatively this January.
Yes!
I
Yep.
thought that was gonna be for us, and I was just like, wait, we have to be ready at Saturday morning. Panicked for a second, and I
One
realized we
Saturday
don't-
It is not
morning.
a Tales of Thrones.
Yeah.
It's an Enter the Hex thing. Which, full disclosure, I already refer to you guys as the Tots.
The tots.
Better than the thoughts.
Tots
Can't we
for
be
thoughts.
both?
The thoughty tots.
I learned what that meant the other day, and it made me sad.
Oh.
Thought. It's a term that that self-proclaimed alphas use to describe.
It's not good.
It is not good.
I'm
No,
not familiar, but
Oh, a lot of the internet has
Not-
taken it back.
not terribly.
That is
Christ-like.
true. The internet has somewhat reclaimed it.
Okay, Nate,
Oh,
for
okay.
whatever it's worth, I'm also feeling really nervous about mixing colors that I'm doing tonight, so wish me luck.
Mine turned out really nice. Like, let's check my skin tone.
You did a pretty good, pretty safe one with just blue and white making light blue. I'm doing brown and,
Well, I got good advice from a professional painter, so.
well,
Me?
yes. It was Rhea.
Yeah, I'm full of good advice. Sage, really.
And I have a lot of other good ideas about things. They should choose me to run the country. Oh, dang it.
So, I'm going with Rune Fang Steel for my pants. And it just kind of
Whoa.
turning like my
For your
pants are
pants?
super
Who does
steel in
that?
color.
Well, you're gonna like give yourself iron pants.
I guess
Which
I
if
have
that's what your
to.
character rocks, like, power to him.
Like, it kind of looks more like it's just like tinfoil.
Oh no, this isn't okay, Brown. I'm okay with this, I think.
I wasn't like the second I started painting with it, I was like, oh, this isn't what I expected. But you know what? We're here. We're gonna go with it.
Part of me would love to like work at one of these paint companies and just be the guy who names
Names.
Because like I could just buy these Citadel paints, mix them into new colors, put them in my own bottles, and be like, this is Manticore Mane.
It reminds me of that. What is his name? Mitch Hedberg joke. So we're working at the companies where they name things. All you have to do is say what the thing does. What does this do? Keeps vegetables fresh. That's a fresher. I'm going on break. R.I.P. Mitch Hedberg.
Oh dear.
I gotta paint tiny eyes on this hat. For reasons that are private.
Concerning.
Did any of you ever play a game called Fallen London
I have heard
or
a lot about
Echo
it.
Bazaar?
People keep telling me I should play it.
I don't know this
love
one.
it.
I don't think it exists anymore. It was a text-based adventure, like steampunk, gaslight romance game where London has been pulled down into the earth, like 7 miles under the crust of the earth, and it's now right next to hell, which, ironic.
Only 7 miles down, huh?
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you can find it online. They used to, somebody ended up posting it like in a web browser or something. I don't remember the URL or anything though.
Without being.
It says the telephone. Oh.
Has anyone got any like funny stories or something of the sort?
Oh, you said that right as I'm trying to respond to a text. Not that I would have like had something on the ready, but
It's not a funny story, but it's an exciting one for me.
Let's hear it.
So I used to have this site that was live. It was a roleplay and writing generator site. So like if you ever needed like a tavern name or a character name just on the fly or something, you just hit a button and it would generate it.
Cool.
And then it got taken down a few years ago because
Too many
hosting got
swears.
mixed up and somehow I lost it on an old computer. I thought I had it backed up on some computer somewhere, but it never was. So now I've been getting hosting back up and the domain and finally got that up, but then all of my, like my ID and the programs that I program on weren't functioning right. And finally last night at about 2 a.m. I got all my setup right and I am now on the path to developing this website and I'm so excited.
That's
That's pretty
sick.
Yes,
awesome.
Congrats on that.
Do you work in WordPress?
I do.
We may have need of you.
I am doing, just letting you off
Hive's
the bat right
website
now.
is struggling.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of freelance WordPress web dev work right now.
Oh my gosh.
Especially
How did
since
I
I'm
not
in
connect the
between.
dots on this?
Yeah, especially since I'm in between jobs. I'm looking for WordPress jobs, and job market's a little iffy right now. So, if you ever need a WordPress designer, my portfolio is riaherman.com.
Well,
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Yeah. We may be in touch.
Everyone out there in Twitch land.
Yeah, hire me. I like building websites. I'll build your website.
And say hi. I
Yeah.
like it when people say hi.
I got a funny story that has Ken in it and my mother, if you guys know her.
I do.
And Davis is in it too.
What?
So I was a young lad, probably of the age of 5, living
Go
in
on.
Glendale, California. Now, I woke up one summer Saturday, and I walked out to the to the living room, and there I saw my dear sweet older brother playing The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask.
no.
And I plopped down right next to him, and there was some tortilla chips out, and I just started like, I'm a little grubby kid, so I just started munching on them. And I looked to my left, and I see my dad mowing the lawn, and I had like a thought that I've never had before, and I've never had since, which was, I'm gonna go help him.
Are you okay?
With yard work. And so I came out there and I said, Dad, I'm here to help. And my dad was ecstatic because he's had 3 sons and none of them have ever said that before, and you ever seen like a Hallmark movie where like the dad's mowing the lawn and the kid thinks he's doing it, but the dad's really pushing it? It was very cute, very much like that.
I live that on a regular basis with a grocery cart, but I'm
Oh,
with you.
yeah. And once he finished, I looked at him and I said, okay, now pay me. Because I'm a kid. And he laughed and he gives me a quarter. And I'm like, I clutch it super tightly in my left hand. I run back inside to watch more of Majora's Mask. And Davis is just about to finish the water temple, which is,
No, Stone Temple. It was Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
whatever the hardest temple was in that game. And I'm sitting there and I see my tortilla chips and I just start grabbing at them again. And I get confused on which hand has the quarter and which hand has the tortilla chip. And I throw the quarter in my mouth and it immediately just goes down my throat and it gets stuck. And I look over at Davis and I smile and I stand up politely and I go find my mom. And I walk up to her, I'm choking and I can't breathe, and I say, Mom, I point in my mouth, I say, quarter. And my mother, bless her heart, was not like the best in this medical emergency. and she just looks at me and just says, "What, you got a quarter?" And I started screaming, "No, no," pointing my mouth, "Quarter, quarter, quarter." And she looked at me and just said, "Do you have a quarter?" And then I passed out.
No.
And the next thing I remember, I was waking up in the hospital room, and I'm pretty sure I just, like, in my head, I made this up because I was a kid, but, like, in my head, this is what happened, is the nurse came in and asked me, "Do you want chicken or water?" And I was like, "Oh, yes, chicken, please."
Standard medical procedure.
Obviously. And then I remember my whole family pouring in, like the last scene from Wizard of Oz. They all were giving me hugs. Except for one of my siblings, Davis.
You made me! I had nothing to say because of you!
He just beat the Stone Temple.
Oh, no.
And he didn't get to save his game because his little brother decided he wanted to choke and die.
What a
The cop said I
monster.
had to leave!
And yeah, that's how that's the story of how I swallowed a quarter and why me and Davis are still not friends to this day.
I gotta
I
say,
never
Davis,
forgot!
Davis has a solid point.
What was the brown that you used? That dark brown.
It was. Where did it go?
Was it Rhinox hide?
That's the
Was.
one. I need some.
It's the secret ingredient in my manticore name.
Can I borrow that rune steel
So,
again
I
first?
don't roleplay
Yes,
character
I'm
that I-
using it at the moment.
Don't worry about it. I will start on my
Give it right to you.
next project.
That reminds me that I had a roleplay character. Hold on a sec. She was a pickpocket, and she would hide the money that she stole by swallowing it. And she'd always get it back later one way or another.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I had to look up some pretty weird things in order to discern like how feasible this was.
To role play as truthfully as you could.
Exactly. I had to stick to the character. Like, is it safe to eat coins? Is it safe to eat your own?
I'll answer that for you. No.
And then I found out about pica, which is like a neurological disorder that causes you to eat inedible things.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had some clients that did that.
There's a kid on the show Scrubs that did that.
That reminds me of one of my favorite parts from Cowboy Bebop, where I don't know if there's any anime fans out there.
I'm
Cowboy
a big
Bebop's a
big
good
Cowboy
one.
Bebop fan.
But like, there's this chip, like a poker chip with an actual microchip inside of it, that's very valuable. And at one point, Spike is being chased, so he just swallows it, and later on hacks it back up, and like the people around him have no idea what he's doing because they didn't see him swallow the chip in the first place.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that's like nature's pocket.
Yeah.
Your
Nature's
bailiwick.
pocket.
It's given to us for a reason. Might as well use it.
Anyone pick your pocket.
So when my wife was growing up, her dad was gone like almost the entire month for work. He'd be home like 2 weekends a month or something. There's that. And so at one point, in an effort to like be closer to his kids, he like sat down and recorded himself reading books to them. And I have not found this tape, but I've heard the story many times. Somewhere there's a cassette tape of him reading some book, and then one of her older brothers stopping him and being like, "Hey, Dad, is it bad if you swallow a quarter?" And the dad being like, "Why did you swallow a quarter?" "Maybe."
Yeah, it's bad.
I guess he must have been older than you, and his esophagus was just larger to take it, because I think it was a done deed at that point.
Well, mine got perfectly caught, like right here.
Yeah.
Like on
That's
the
rough.
wall.
That's the big concern, especially with pica too. If you're swallowing like inanimate objects, like not inanimate objects, you shouldn't be
There's a
swallowing
concern
animate objects.
behind that, which is that's not to say it's raw. Sometimes I just like to swallow rocks. That's crazy. So it's like a mental condition. Like that's wild. I mean, like
Compulsion of sorts.
Yeah. And
the human
you,
body and mind is a crazy thing.
you get pica patients who like would have to go to the hospital because I mean like obviously like you might block your breathing pipes. That's a technical term.
Esophagus.
Esophagus, yes. You might block your esophagus, but alternatively, if you have enough stuff in your stomach, it could rupture an ulcer
Ugh.
because it's just too heavy, or in your intestines, or anywhere else, and it could just be very difficult and painful to pass as well.
That's super gross.
Hey Davis, has anything else come up in chat, by the way?
Are they enthralled by our talk of
Yeah, this-
eating things you shouldn't eat?
That's when Tales of Thrones starts again.
Wednesday of next week is going to be our first episode. We're very excited.
It'll be so
7
cool.
p.m. Mountain Time. Oh, well, one thing we could talk about too is a bit about the nature of the campaign that we're running.
Oh yeah.
So one of the purposes of Tales of Throsha is, you'll notice here on this back TV that we have this big awesome map of Throsha that we've used in the show Enter the Hex, but we haven't necessarily explored a lot of it. So one thing we wanted to do with Tales of Throsha is really visit some of these locations.
You want me to play the opener?
Sure.
Yes,
man.
please.
That sounds like a great idea. This is a teaser of things to come. You get my crush bottle. It's gonna be so worth it. It's still gonna be so worth it.
Better be on the edges of your seats right now.
I know I am.
These seats are pretty dangerous to be on the edge of.
Yeah.
So, on the off chance that the video doesn't start before I finish asking this question, what color would you paint the spikes on a manticore's tail?
There is bone white.
Unnatural. Like a blue or a pink or a purple.
They are poisonous.
Or you
Green,
could start
perhaps?
with bone white and make the
Or
tips.
purple.
I don't know how big these
Use,
spikes
use
are.
infection green.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
huge ones on the tail.
The big ones could have like really
That
cool
sucks
like
to fight
purple black
manticores. They have that
tips.
freaking
Here
reloader.
we go.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Hmm.
Whoa.
There you have it.
Are we live?
Yeah, just,
Okay.
I think. Wait,
Tell us more about.
We're not on the monitor, so I wasn't sure.
give me a second.
They might be able to hear us, they might not. Hey, we're on the monitor.
I'll give you nothing.
So tell us more about the campaign you're going to run, Steve.
We good, Davis?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so, the first group, the Wednesday night group that I am part of, our player characters have elected to all be members of the same clan, which, excuse me, if you're familiar with Enter the Hex, you'll know that there are 5 clans, which are sort of the different factions, groups in the world of Throsha. And if you didn't know that before, now you do. So our champions have elected to be members of Clan Malthior. So we're going to have an interesting insight into what it's like to be in Clan Malthior, both from the inside perspective as well as what it's like to be viewed as Clan Malthior from the outside. Because this might be news to you guys. I don't know that I shared this with you guys yet. Our time frame for this adventure is going to be set basically concurrent with the events of Season 3, but have nothing to do with the events of Season 3, if that makes sense. So you guys will be on the home front of Throsha when Clan Malthior was just recently reinstated into the Hexant.
So I have a question. I don't know if you want to review this, but is that's going on when there's like a bunch of demons and devils around in Throsha?
So at that point in time, they are present, but they are not an overwhelming force.
Okay.
So it's a problem that's like people are definitely dealing with, but it's being managed.
Would it be managed in maybe Enter the Hex Season 4?
Well, if we want spoilers for season 4, not really spoilers, but more teasers. The demonic threat between seasons 3 and 4 just gets compoundingly worse, despite feeling like things are going well. It's almost like Throsh is beginning to lose a war of attrition. The threat needs to be dealt with.
To be fair, we did kind of goof up with the gnomes on the island of the fire giants.
There was a lot of
So
goofing up
yeah.
done that week
And we
on our part.
assured them that they wouldn't have anything to worry about.
But we redeemed ourselves the next week.
Did we?
A little bit. Not the same way, but we did some good things.
I'll look up some kind of
I don't
reference.
think that makes the gnomes feel any better.
No. The queen already thought that we were dunderheads, and she was not far off.
It doesn't make them gnomes any less dead, does it?
Are they dead? Oh, I would
They're
feel
not-
so bad.
They're not wiped out, but like they're
No.
definitely in.
I mean, you stole the book, so we couldn't do the whole death magic.
But still, fire giants are.
Kind of a big deal. But I'm bummed.
I don't get it. Can you explain it?
What's giants? Reference image for magical.
There's some box art if you want to look at that.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I'll take a hand if it's around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's all coming.
Oh, yeah. It's not coming together.
I need a.
That made me miss Max, because Max is really good at saying that. He's good at saying things in that voice.
I need a light
Oh
green.
wow. Inferiority complex.
Can I borrow that green and that far one?
This one?
Yes.
Oh,
Got it.
I guess I could just pass it to you, but you know,
But he's in the zone.
he is. I would interrupt his hard work.
I gotta do my fins now.
Dang, I'm looking at someone's really good paint job, and suddenly I'm like, I'll just go eat more pizza.
Why are you doing this? Because it's fun. We're all having fun.
This is great. I
You all
love
seem
this.
so annoyed.
There's some good stuff here for sure. Good information.
It's got that QR code that you can scan and it'll like teach you.
Oh, for reals? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Monster manual art as well.
Good old monster manual. The freaking monster manual paint set is like $80.
Really?
Yeah.
Paint is expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had my brief stint where I would go and get like 2 colors of paint every weekend.
Yeah. At like $5 a pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like $4.50 or something like that. But luckily I started out painting stormtroopers, so I didn't need a lot.
Just needed that good black primer and then some white coloring.
What'd you do, white primer?
I did white primer and black detailing.
Oh, that'll make more sense. Huh?
Is this for the D6 Star Wars game?
No, I had a game. I have a game called Imperial Assault,
Oh, cool.
which, like, there's a fantasy version of called Descent, which is just combat D&D. Like, there's no role play. It's just the combat stuff
Ew.
with its own combat system.
That's no fun.
But, you know, as a board game, and if you look at it as a board game, like, it's fun
Oh, okay.
because there is story in it, and like, if you want to lean into role play, you can, because why not? But then there's a Star Wars version called Imperial Assault. And I decided I would try painting minis because I found YouTube videos that were like, anybody can do it. It's easy.
They lie to you?
And like a sucker, I fell for it. No, he was a really good like teacher and had a really good series. So
Is there a black but not as quite as dark as this black?
do you remember how you made that light blue?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's getting fancy now.
But if there's just one that's already here, it'd be so much easier.
There is not. I have just a lot of metals.
Hey, that's
I have
okay.
Mechanicus Standard Gray, which might
Oh.
do. Yeah, you'd need to give it a good shake.
Which would also be a great name for Warforged.
Mechanicus.
Mechanicus.
Standard grade.
But Mechanicus. Why was I created to feel pain?
That'll be Mackenzie's character in a few weeks, I'm sure.
Just constantly having that conversation with Logan.
Ooh, messy, messy. Ooh.
Back that picture again.
They keep it very similar.
I did paint a 3D printed gun at one point. That's like my pride and joy. It was, I don't know if you guys play Overwatch, but it was Sombra's SMG.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Oh, so
and-
you're talking like cosplay.
Yeah, it was.
I thought you meant like,
cosplay.
I got like a real gun.
Oh, no, oh
So
my
that's the
gosh.
thing that
Oh.
people have done. So
Yeah.
I wasn't sure where
Yeah.
that was going for a second.
No, no, that's mildly terrifying. Yeah, it was fake, and it took me at least 10 hours, just because it was a lot bigger than a mini.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, these minis each took 3 hours if they were.
Really?
If they were,
Wow.
yeah, 3 hours for minis.
Oh.
It's a small 3D printer. I don't know if that's standard.
I think
And you
3D
just get like
printing
a
is-
tub of resin, or how does that?
I don't know. It's my roommate's, but he has like a few bottles of it. I think he just pours it in there.
Yeah, like I know that you can get tubs of resin and like molds and stuff like that at craft stores.
And you add
Oh
like
yeah,
Hive
for
in.
viewers, we made these through Heroes Forge.
Yes.
Oh,
And
yeah.
And maybe
that's
they
why
will sponsor us.
They're super cool because they are exactly how we want our characters to look.
Yeah. Hero Forge, if you're watching, we're open to chat. So
For
Just throwing that
example,
out.
and they're really good because things like a Warforged cleric holding a big old battle axe, you can't really find those on the market.
Yeah.
Or a like a Triton holding a trident, not very common either.
Just try to find that.
You
Yeah.
can.
I know that until recent times, it's getting easier, but like Dragonborn minis were super
Mhm.
hard to get,
Yeah.
especially in any variety.
There's a Dragonborn monk in the campaign that I'm playing, and so I'm making a Heroes Forge
Yeah.
character for that because you ain't gonna find a Dragonborn monk anywhere.
I had a Dragonborn monk character for one of my campaigns. He was a pro wrestler. And so like yeah, all of his decks was just to like hide the fact that he wasn't trying to hurt the other pro wrestlers. So yeah, his dex was really high, his deception was really high.
You know what could be kind of fun to talk about? What's everyone's briefly like? What's everyone's like favorite character they've ever played?
For me, that is easily Jackano.
You played Jackano outside of Under the Hex, though, right?
Kind of. So he was the first rogue I ever made. I wanted to. It sounds dumb, but I wanted to base him off of Thenardier from Les Miserables because I played Thenardier and I absolutely loved it.
Oh no, that's a great rogue.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't know. I had such a good time playing him and like writing up his backstory, and just the whole shebang. But rogues are just fun to play anyway.
They're pretty
'Cause you
cool.
can be nice and despicable, and you're a skill monkey. And then you roll tons and tons of nat ones like.
Oh no.
Which is part of the fun.
Okay, you don't want to excel at anything, right?
Well, rogues, they get this amazing feature at like, I can't remember, like 11th level or something like that, called Reliable Talent, where you can't roll below a 10.
Oh,
And it's
jeez.
awesome. Oh, it's so broken. But yeah, it makes sense for rogues because they're like, you know, sneaky and tricky and everything. But
How
it's
could you
such a
ever
great
kill
feature.
one? Like, can rogues ever die?
Oh, it's got to be for specific skills, I'm assuming.
I think it's for attacks or something like that. So your attacks are just monstrous and
wow.
you can't mess with your attacks.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, that's official content.
Especially with rogues, you could take like put a fingerprint in it. Oh, that's funny.
Your fingerprints are all over that character.
What about you? So I know you, Logan. Oh, well, last time we talked, you said that you didn't get an opportunity to play very much because you're usually the DM. Do you have a favorite character?
Yeah. I have a few characters that I really liked. But I've definitely played as a DM more than I have a player. And there are some NPCs that I've played that I've really, really had fun with. I can't recall the last character that I created that I was like in love with. Like I just thought he was so cool because I started playing it very, very young. I think right around 11 or 12 when I started playing D&D, and at that time I wasn't like, I'm gonna create this awesome backstory and he's got all these motivations and personal hang-ups and flaws. It was just like, I'm playing a warrior. I like to swing swords.
What's the biggest axe I can find?
Yeah. But as
Which
you
there's nothing
grow
wrong with
up
that either.
and yeah, you just mature around the game. That was kind of also when I started getting more into the DM role. So I haven't played a character that I feel like I've given it adequate backstory and development, other than the NPCs that I've DM'd. And
What's
so,
your favorite NPC then?
my favorite NPC.
That's a hard question. I've had.
There was one character. He was a fan favorite amongst the party. They always liked coming back and playing with this guy, role playing with them. He was a hat shop owner. His name was Glim.
Did everyone in your
he
party-
talked a little bit more like this. And he was just a whole lot of fun. He was pleasant, but a little mysterious, and he had them go on a few quests in his name, and yeah, he was a favorite.
Did everyone in your party have like really great hats because they had it in good with this guy?
They had to they specifically went there because they had to do a rich ball heist, and they had to get all dressed up fancy to get in. And so, yeah, they had to get some of the nicest hats, and yeah, it was a fun time.
Fine haberdashery.
Very much.
Haberdashery is a word that we need to use more as a
I
society.
agree.
How about you, Rhea? Favorite character you've ever played?
So it's a little complicated for me to answer because I roleplay a lot, but it's not strictly like tabletop roleplaying. It's like play-by-post roleplaying and roleplaying in like other like universes, like video game universes and stuff.
Okay, that's sick.
Yeah, and since I've been roleplaying for a while now, my character preferences and like what I enjoy playing tends to shift every few years. So right now, my favorite character to play, his name is Atlas Kingston, and he's
It's a great
That's a
name.
really, really dope name.
yeah, he is a pretty cliche cyberpunk character, kind of jaded and disenfranchised. He's a gunner who, so basically, in the world I'm playing him, he's, if you guys are familiar with Titanfall or Apex Legends, he's been enlisted to take a hit on one of the celebrities in Apex Legends.
Oh,
Until he found out that he'd been set up, and now he has to join the games in order to pay off the bail that the syndicate paid him for.
very cool.
Yeah.
At any point does he yell, "You set me up," like Tom Cruise?
He's probably thinking it out all the time.
You set me up.
It's a great scene.
It's playing and repeat.
Who has my black?
I do. I've
I
finished
got
one
bad and
quick
black. I don't know
activity.
what's yours, honestly.
Oh.
We're all kind of.
Abaddon Black. Oh yeah, Citadel. If you're watching, we're open to sponsorships too, because here we are. So throwing that out as well.
Wow, this Citadel paint is so handy to use.
There's so many colors and varieties.
Tightly packed, so free and easy on the draw.
My favorite character I've ever played. Are you finished, Ria?
Oh yeah.
It was the first character I ever really played in my first like short campaign. His name was Bulge. He was an orc, a half orc.
I feel like
You got shot. You got
comes,
him.
he comes from the land of Orcacia, where you name your child after the first word you think of when you look at your baby.
I mean,
His
Are
name
you
is
talking about being in like in utero, so like a bulge in the belly? Or?
No, like he came out, they picked him up like, oh, Bulge. He was a great character. He was a paladin. His god is made up. His parents just lied to him.
Oh
That's fate. for
His
you.
god's name is Jeeves.
Did they
and-
tell them when you want something to ask Jeeves?
No, we never got to that joke. We should have though.
You early internet kids out there.
He had a -3 to religion.
Oh.
It was very fun. Bulge is a great and powerful. Here's that. Oh, you already have it?
Yeah, I got this one.
Dang it. Did you say it was Bulge the Great and Powerful?
That's what he called himself.
I've always wanted to have a character with a title like that. I haven't done it, but I really like that shtick.
so technical paint. What is that typically used for?
Like highlights.
Okay.
Give that a try.
Dark here. Actually. Good for his magics.
My favorite character was being the frog in the tank in season 3.
That we failed miserably with.
Oh no, you guys did quite well with the frog in the tank. It just took a little bit to kind of warm him up.
We didn't know what Ken wanted.
Yes.
Could I get that? Is there a pink or an orange?
There's an orange right here and here. But I don't know if
That one's dry.
This one's
that
actually a
orange.
rust. So it looks very bright neon, but you're supposed to just like dust it on and it looks like rust.
I could also do like a red or.
Wait, wait a minute. Did you say pink?
Yeah.
So pink is like light red, right?
Whoa, dude.
What sort of witchcraft are you?
Mine.
I'm learning so much about colors today.
Yeah.
That reminds me of red versus blue. Oh yeah, that guy over there in that light red armor. Just say pink, man. Just say pink.
That is a thing I've not thought
Yeah.
about in a long time. Red
yeah.
versus blue.
Shout out Rooster Teeth.
Goes way back.
That's an old one. I remember those. Old for me. Old youngin.
Trying to like think of quotes, and half the ones I'm thinking of, I'm like, nope, I'm not saying
No, tell us what's on your mind.
What's your zombie plan?
Don't go to sleep.
Super works. Ooh.
I'm sorry if I splash you, by the way. I tend to
Oh
just...
no, you haven't.
Okay, good. I tend to just
Just got
flail when
dark
I'm getting
paint spots.
That's all.
right.
It reminds me of one time we had this like big family dinner going on, and my mom at the time was really into buying this like spray butter.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not
Oh.
spray.
Is
I
it
can't
like
believe it's not
I
butter.
can't believe it's not butter?
Yeah,
Spray.
But, yeah, I think that's exactly what
Yeah.
it was. It was probably like the Kroger version of it though. But I like held up my corn on the cob and I was looking at it and I was spraying it with this spray, completely unaware of the fact that it was going past above
Oh,
and
no.
below, and I was just spraying my brother-in-law down with this artificial butter.
Oh, that's good.
And he just took it and looked at me and like was blinking and laughing
I wonder if
until I
that's
finally
sweet.
noticed.
Is that the Macrage
I
Blue?
want to get some, and then next time one
yes.
of my friends comes and visits, I'll just like, I'll wait until, I don't know, like they're not looking or something, and just
Going with the
Hose them
pink
down.
shell on my shoulder.
Oh, good.
I think that'll
Yeah,
that's
that's
how
how
there's some contra-
just trying to butter you up.
yes. If any of my online friends are watching right now, you watch your backs.
You had some serious online support for last season.
Most of my buddies are online, so as a result, like when I, mention things to them, like the only way any of us can really connect are through, text and video and stuff. So.
That's cool.
That's how we've all been for the last few months.
Very cool.
Right? Yeah, nothing's changed here, but yeah.
Give him copper-colored pants.
Trendsetter.
The metal pants buddies.
We'll give you guys a special like one-off Christmas episode with the two of you hanging out. That's what it is.
We give each other pants. You sold your hair to pay for these pants. You sold your pants to pay for this wig.
You embrace and you learn the true meaning of Throtian solstice.
Airing of grievances.
Oh man. We do need to come up with like a Christmas analog for Throtia.
That's when the two groups come together for the Christmas special.
Yeah, everyone wears their Rihanna sweaters.
That's something we could
That's
do.
the holidays. Play on a sweater day.
That's something that we could do for the 10 show. Do a very Throtian Christmas as one of the films. Oh man.
Hive casting office at gmail.com. Shoot an email over there and make a movie. Oh, and there's prize money for the first. Well, there's prize money for like across the different categories. I don't know if there's first, second, and third.
Holiday film.
So I'm a bit of a Grinch, but when it comes to holiday horror, because I do love horror, Krampus.
Krampus.
It's cheesy and it's over the top, but the monster is really cool.
That is true. Monster is really, really cool.
I do like Christmas. If I go the Christmas route, Scrooged is one of my
Scrooged?
favorites.
I haven't thought about
Give me
Scrooge.
that 80s twist of Ebenezer.
It's not really a Halloween. Actually, it kind of is. I had a lot of fond memories watching Corpse Bride growing up. So around Halloween, I usually watch.
A bit more.
Boot,
Warm.
scoot, boot. Man, you're trying to make your stuff look warm? I'm just trying to color mine.
He's washing and highlighting all kinds of
Let's
crazy
see how long the time
Them veins look veiny.
lapse. Oh, cool.
I don't care if it's bad form.
Can I get a gray?
I gave you Mechanicus Standard Gray.
Celestial gray.
Yes. Lighter gray is what I need.
How many times do you have to have this conversation, Nathan?
More time.
Are you saying I can make a lighter gray? But how?
No, that is what we totally have on hand. It's a lighter gray. That's true. I will say, for anyone who hasn't painted a mini, this is just going to sound exceedingly nerdy, but whatever, because here we are painting minis. The first time I put a wash on a mini, I was just like breath stolen away with like how cool and much better it looked to me. Just like, oh my gosh.
What is a wash?
So it's like super liquidy, and you just start painting over the stuff, and it just gets down in the cracks, and suddenly it looks
Oh.
like
Gives
more
it more
texture.
depth
detail and
and
texture.
Sean, if you're not using that
So like
blue
for
right in front of
example,
you
you
may
can
I
see
take
how
it?
it looks
Thank
here,
you.
but then I have this super liquidy brown, and it just like gets out of the crevices,
Yeah.
and suddenly all the veins are more
crevasse
veiny looking.
Mm-hmm.
Ew, the curl. What is that from? I know that.
It makes me feel like I'm a better painter
That's
than
from,
I actually
yeah.
am.
Wonder Boy by Tenacious D.
There, the
That's
crevasse.
why.
Feel it.
Everyone should listen to Tenacious D.
son of a rabbi is Jack Black.
I recently saw a video clip online of Tony Hawk and his son visiting Jack
Aw,
Black.
That's awesome.
And among other things happening, like Jack Black skateboarding very ineffectively. They had like a little jam session in his house.
That's cool.
And Jack Black named their band Black Hawk Down. And it just made me happy. So do most little video clips I see of Jack Black.
He has that effect, you know?
He does.
Have you guys heard of the weird problems Tony Hawk has with fans?
Mm-hmm.
Where
No.
consistently people will be like, wow, you look exactly like Tony Hawk. And they just won't like make the connection
Mhm.
that is Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
Every time they're like, you look like Tony
I
Hawk.
wonder what that guy's doing now. This.
Yeah, right?
That's funny.
Tony Hawk did a kickflip in the White House.
Really?
They interviewed him on Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me on NPR. And he told that story. I thought that was pretty baller.
I like that a lot.
Tony Hawk's my hero.
The Tony Hawk Pro Skater games like helped define some of my music tastes today.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater
love that.
3, greatest game of all time.
No joke. A lot of fun with those games. Some of those games I didn't play all of them.
They always made me want to learn how to skateboard, and I still don't know how. One of my biggest regrets.
So it was my first ever cosplay photo shoot, and it was going to be a summer Overwatch theme, hence like the Sombra gun and everything like that. So I decided that the character I was doing, Sombra, she would look really cool on a skateboard.
Huh?
So I went and I bought a skateboard, but the longboards were like $150, and so I'm like, okay, I'll just get like a stupid little skateboard from Walmart. This tiny little thing, and I'm like, well, I bought a skateboard, I might as well learn to use it. And I rode it around for about 15 minutes until I felt pretty solid on it. And then, I don't know what happened, it's like gravity shifted, and I fell off and managed to like twist my ankle in the worst way, and I was limping for a week, and I haven't touched it since.
Like my one day of snowboarding experience. I like took a class, was very mediocre as a beginner, like mediocre for that level. And then just started having a lot of fun, and then like fell over backwards down the hill
Oh.
onto like some really icy stuff, and that's just like, I'm done.
This is stupid. This is stupid.
I'm taking my snowboard and going home.
That was part of what convinced
Isn't
me.
as easy as the Disney Channel make it look.
It wasn't as easy as Tony Hawk made it look. Or what was this?
Sean White.
Sean White.
He's
Yeah.
still the guy.
He's a gross, gingery guy.
But like, when it comes to snowboarding, that's our guy.
He's still the guy? Is he still competing?
Yeah, he took the gold, got like a perfect score
Oh, wow.
on the half pipe.
He's still killing it.
Okay. Who knew? I guess Sean White knew. And
Yeah.
you guys. Everybody but me.
Wonder if they had a, because Sean White also skateboards. I wonder if like Tony Hawk and Sean White had a skateboard off, who would, like at their prime, who wins?
Why haven't they done like a show of that yet?
I don't know. That needs to happen. Someone hire me.
Coming 2021 at the Hive Collaborative.
Sean White versus.
It's gonna be like the day of, and like, well, we couldn't afford to get Tony Hawk or Sean White, so we have these
They asked us
replacements.
to please
So,
stop calling
so
them.
here's Sean Hunter.
I was just saying.
Hi everyone. I don't know what I'm doing.
We don't have.
That's your Sean Hunter voice or your Sean White voice?
Hey, kids!
So say that laugh may be copyrighted for all I know.
I use the goofy voice all the time in traffic. It's my attempt to be less angry when I'm on the road because I will get
That's a good tactic.
supernaturally angry, but it's really hard to get angry at Goofy.
Supernatural.
Well, I'm gonna make a lane change without signaling. Hold on. I've got a big old truck with flags on it. I don't have to follow the rules of the road.
Yeah, he's a dominant alpha
Oh, I was
male in
gonna
a
this
truck.
guy isn't compensating for anything.
Huge.
My wife and I have never quite had to resort to it, but we've said that if we're ever like just super losing it, like getting upset with each other, that we have to start talking in the whale voice that Dory uses. kind of the same reasoning. Just like
That'll
deflate some
de-escalate.
tension.
Yeah, that'll de-escalate things quickly.
That's the hope, anyway. Yeah, they look way more fleshy. Thanks, Agrax Earthshade.
And now
Pardon?
available in 3 different sizes. Again, they should hire us,
Should.
sponsor us. Oh, Jean, beautiful person you, with your mottled face and weird cracks and paint lines that I'm sure every gnome has, right?
Can you say your name one more time?
Rosina?
I don't know.
It's Davis knocking.
Oh, I might
Oh.
be bumping mine with a chair.
Don't you feel ridiculous right now?
The whole thing's ruined. Pull the plug.
Were we supposed to be recording?
Maybe the real minis were the friends we made along the way.
Maybe the real friends we made were the minis we painted along the way.
I don't know where that would be coming from.
Oh wait, that might be old hard times.
Gorgeous. So I talk myself up a little bit, you know?
That bone one. So this one?
Gorgeous,
It's bone on
gorgeous.
it.
Does anyone
You want
have
bone
any?
white?
It's a bone one.
Yeah.
I've got a bone white over here as well.
Does anyone have any like idea of how their character's gonna talk?
I do.
Do you want to reveal that now, or?
He's a bit of a ponce, just so everyone is aware. He's going to talk in some very elevated speech, and
That's awesome.
rather ponderous. And he does have a rather upper crust accent because he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth.
Sounds painful.
Yeah. At least he wasn't a werewolf.
Ooh, mud color.
You must feel like such a pilchard right
Is that the...
You gonna say that to somebody?
So that's actually thick. And it's used for decorating bases. So if you try and paint your mini with it, you will get clumpy mud-looking stuff.
Makes sense. I want to see what other neutral colors people have.
I have a lot of.
I saw was that you punched the guy for no reason, man.
I punch him?
Yeah, you
Oh,
punched him.
clarify that.
Yeah.
You worry about you worry
Did I punch you?
Hey,
Yes.
what's
I was
that?
like, did I punch you?
Yeah, you
Yes,
talking.
yes.
Everybody saw you.
Did I punch you?
Everybody saw you.
Did I punch you?
Yes.
Did I hit you?
You didn't hear me, but you were.
What's a good? Do you have like a good blue thing for a base?
Blue thing for a base.
Or should I just color that blue?
I'm not quite sure how I would approach that.
I'm just gonna go for. Oh, I'll use an acrylic.
Why not?
They're clumpy.
How do you know which one's which? I see, like you said, this is,
It'll say
So
on
this one
it
actually
base
says texture.
so texture is
clumpy. It's gonna be
And also
thicker.
I remember because it says mud in the name that I remember this is the one that I actually got because it's like mud.
Fair enough. So then a shade.
So
That
shade,
is like
that's the wash thing I was talking
Mhm.
about.
Okay.
that's
really
a very
liquid
very
ones.
watery one.
Okay.
I used for my magical effects and looks pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
I haven't like looked at anybody's up close. It's looking great.
Ooh, pretty. Let's see. I'm gonna take a look at all the other colors.
They are thick.
Oh,
fair
yeah.
warning.
Wow, this. Oh,
Thick
Bouche
with
Opti Bone is
Ooh.
an error. This is like a detail thing. This isn't a.
I don't know if I
Baseball.
want her to be wearing.
Which explains why it's so low. Someone said they had other bone colors around.
Okay, I'll return with this.
No worries.
such a sucker for purple,
Is
That
your
doesn't seem like you.
right?
is your character going to sound like Danny Zuko?
I thought about that. I think I'm gonna try to go for something more.
Sandy.
Sandy, what are we?
I've been
I
in Greece
got
once and will never
chills.
do so again.
They're multiplying. No, honestly, I think I'm gonna go for something just kind of like higher pitched, a little bit higher pitched version of my own voice. I'm not gonna try to do too big of a character voice, especially which I think is okay because Max and Darcy both have very very thick character voices.
Really?
I'm so excited to hear.
Max is doing like a very, he might change it, but from what I'm hearing, I'm pretty sure he's going to do like a high-pitched voice, which is going to be very,
I can't
like
picture that.
a nasally high-pitched voice on Max, which will be, I think, very fun, for like the juxtaposition of his actual voice.
Fascinated to hear this.
I'm really curious to hear Darcy do a voice, actually. It's not like I've
Darcy's
ever heard
doing a bit like an accent of some kind.
So,
It's not going well.
I don't know if this is the case for you guys at all, but like my earliest groups that I played RPGs with, like no one ever did any like character voice stuff, which is totally fine. You know? Play how it makes you happy, however you have fun. And I always kind of wanted to, but I was like so insecure about doing it, just because.
It's very much it's kind of a bandwagon thing. Like once one person does it, it opens up.
Suddenly
Like,
everyone's
oh, so we could do that. But if no one does it, then yeah, it's kind of like, am I gonna be first?
Evil. This color is evil. It says so. Otherwise, you know.
evil.
Sarzi is going to sound like a very intelligent woman. She actually comes from an academy, and she's been there for a very long time. So, as you know, when you come from an academy and a studious background, it kind of comes through in your voice a little bit.
Elevated speech.
Yes, exactly. I speak like an intellect, you see.
I'm just gonna talk like this the whole time.
I don't want to be associated with you at all.
A giant brain is basically a giant nerd, and where would a giant nerd hang out? A library! I'm a big Futurama fan, by the way. If you hadn't seen it, I recommend watching Bender's Game, because it is about Dungeons and Dragons.
What is the episode? I watched. I like Futurama too. There's an episode I watched where it's, it's a very popular episode with like they accidentally switch their personalities into different
Oh
bodies.
yeah, yep.
And then they
Prisoner
have
of
to-
Zenda.
They have
Reference to Prisoner of Zenda. That's a great one.
Oh. I'm trying to find like a light brown or a dark yellow. Oh, look at that! A dark yellow and a light brown.
Hey!
Well, at least
You know what you could do
There's
to make
also
that light
this-
brown? There's a white color that I hear can make things lighter.
no. Really?
I've learned this today.
I don't know. It sounds sketchy. Sounds fake.
Could I have a wash?
Yeah. What color of wash? Or two,
Shake.
and then open the lid, and then there's that little lip inside. It'll have like a puddle of the stuff. Just
Yeah.
like dip the tip of your brush, get a little bit, and then just gently start going over it.
That's all you need.
A little dabble, do you?
And then, if you find that you're just like, oh, that was too much, just rinse off your brush and get your brush dry, and then you can like
Soak it up.
vacuum it back up with the dry brush.
Here comes cleaning up the crevices.
I need a little bit of that as well.
Oh, sorry, I would hand it here.
No, I'll get it when
No,
you're all
here,
done.
allow me.
It's just
I'll put it
all
right there.
clean our crevices.
We should.
Right
Hey.
here, right on camera.
Well, family establishment, so we're gonna put the brakes on that idea.
Uh,
But we do encourage personal hygiene here at the Hive? If we don't yet, I'm gonna start now. We
What is-
encourage personal hygiene.
What is hygiene?
Hi, Gene.
My mind goes to that little throwaway gag in the Spider-Man movies where Captain America is in all like the educational videos at the high school.
Yes. Your body is going through some changes.
Mine goes to that.
Deodorant, do you think I'm old enough?
Mine always goes back to that Homestar Runner sketch.
Eh.
Hygiene.
It was ridiculously popular
I loved it.
during high school days.
I always try to like show it to my friends, and they just don't get it.
It's
That
like,
makes
let's watch
me really-
Vine. This is taking too long.
This is
To get to the comedy.
It's like, no, guys, I promise it's funny.
What upcoming movie are you all most excited about? Ooh.
Bellum, which I think is coming out like next week.
Antebellum? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That does look really cool.
It does.
That's Jordan Peele, isn't it?
I think so.
He makes some good stuff.
Oh, yes. Freaking awesome. There's another one that's coming out in October called Possessor that is, well, I won't say that I've seen it yet, but if I had seen it, say, last night on a sketchy site, I would strongly recommend it. I have not felt so rattled at a horror movie since Hereditary.
Hereditary spooky.
Hereditary.
More than Midsommar?
Yes. Hereditary got me worse than Midsommar, but
I
Midsommar still had some
agree.
chilling
I
points.
liked Midsommar. I feel like with the people I always talk to, I feel like that's a hot take, but I thought it was really good.
No, I thought it was too. It's just like
It's
Midsommar
eerie.
was beautiful and eerie, and it kind of had a strong eerie feel to it the entire time. And I think Hereditary just emotionally rocked me really hard, and every time I watched it, I came out feeling like a little numb.
Now, how do you
Unless-
feel about you like horror movies?
I love horror movies.
The remake that I believe Jordan Peele's also doing on Candyman.
Oh, yeah?
No,
I'm
it just
excited.
got postponed to 2021.
Really?
Oh,
Well-
bummer. But
I also desperately want to watch the original Candyman,
It's good.
because I know I know it's good, and it's yeah. And if Jordan Peele's making a Candyman reboot, like, it's gonna be amazing and powerful, and
I haven't seen any of his like anything aside from Key and Peele.
Oh yeah,
he's
the Get Out is
mm,
crazy good.
it's
it is very good.
powerful.
It's always fun when someone who's like legitimately good at comedy shows up somewhere else that
I-
you wouldn't expect them, and then like really makes them work.
I really loved his take on the Twilight Zone. I'm a huge Twilight Zone fan anyway. But one of the reasons I loved him so much for The Choice is because Rod Serling was like Hollywood's angry young man who like wanted all this social commentary, and like networks tried not to let him have it. He's like, no, if you want good writing, you let me do my commentary. And they finally like relented, and the show was ridiculously popular. So I think that's what anything based on the Twilight Zone needs, is someone that is aware of.
True, and very fitting, especially for right now when like BLM is starting to make a strong resurgence.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah, I watched a bit of his a couple episodes of the new Twilight Zone. It didn't quite catch me as much. It didn't quite get me as hooked, but
I
I might not have been paying strong attention either.
I just got CBS All Access, where you watch it. Is there an episode you'd recommend starting with?
Oh, let's see.
Also, Logan, how does this guy look? Ooh.
It would be hard for me to choose. I liked their update of Nightmare at 20,000 Feet with Adam Scott. Scott, who's a huge... I didn't realize this until much later, but he was in my favorite Star Trek movie of all time, Star Trek First Contact.
what I would do is get some kind of a wash to run on the face so that it doesn't look all
Dude, you were
just
trucking. That looks
straight
great.
blue like that, but it's looking very good. If you got like a wash
there
to kind of get into like the eye sockets and that.
Is there a blue wash?
I don't have a blue wash.
I think so.
I never
I
got
have that
far.
black wash.
The black one, if
I
you
have one
go
that's called
very sparingly.
Less shade, so it'd be less intense than the
Yeah,
black.
Let's
maybe-
try it,
yeah,
let's try it.
that one.
Honestly, I am not an experienced painter, but you know what? I'm just
After
going.
tonight, man, you're gonna be given pro tips.
That's right.
And teach people how to make colors.
Oh yeah.
Oh, goofy movie.
Well, I went too much.
Yeah, you go very sparingly on that.
I immediately went too much.
So just wipe off, dry off the brush, and then just kind of vacuum it back up.
Slurp it up.
After 40 more minutes.
Down with the textbook.
Up with the comics.
Oh, that was such a great movie.
Oh yeah.
For some reason,
That's still
when
a
I
favorite
feel
of mine.
like 90s, like that movie is like what nails it for me.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
So, like,
My wife still loves watching.
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
I like how
That
it was
was
like a
good. Check it
silly
out.
musical. Like there weren't a ton of songs, but
See if just
there's
very
still some
lightly,
good
see if you
stuff.
could get it like right underneath the eyes.
It's me, I'm little Maxine, my pipsqueak
Pioneer.
Maxine, please don't forget me.
I will return someday
to Beverly Hills.
90210. A movie.
he is the guy that plays Mac. I can never remember his name, but I first heard him on Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
Wonderful
yeah.
voice actor. Such a great voice actor.
is there a gold?
There's a copper.
Gold doesn't exist. I'm sorry. The country's actually facing a national gold shortage.
Let's be.
Darn it, Throsha. Get a hold of your gold.
Oh yeah, gold like is not canon in
Is it not?
Throw Just kidding.
Steve, don't lie.
We haven't ever really done much with money.
No, you guys have probably been some of the best funded adventurers just
Yeah.
because it's constantly
Here's
"Go
a
save the world."
Retributor armor is very nice in gold.
I'm just trying to pay my earrings. I don't know who gave me piercings in the ocean, but somebody did.
Puffer fish.
Yes.
Swordfish.
Here we go, Nathan.
I still hold that standout song was like
Oh yeah.
quality stuff for the style of the day.
Part of me is just like, especially with a goofy movie, an extremely goofy movie, I just want to like shake Max and be like, your dad is such a good dad. Why can't you just let him be a part of your life?
Yeah.
You know?
Because he's a kid.
Nobody understands him.
No one understands me.
It's so uncool and embarrassing.
No one understands me.
It's prickle. Oh, we need to add some of these prickles I know it's me. That's right.
All right.
Getting nervous.
Oh no!
Um,
What have you done?
he's okay.
Doesn't have a head, Lloyd.
It's all right.
What's your guys' favorite class to play?
Bard.
I love the creativity that the bard allows.
It's super fun. I really enjoyed Rogue. Bard was a lot of fun. I played Paladin and I quite enjoyed playing Oath of Conquest Paladin.
I have only played fighter and paladin, so one of them.
What's a class that you would like to play that you have not as of yet?
I really wanted to play warlock, which is why I wanted to play a warlock. I also would have been really down for a barbarian or
Barbie.
Barbie.
Does someone
Oh, I
have
played a bard
the,
also. I played a bard.
I'm looking for the Bugman's Glow.
What color is it?
It's like a brown, like
I don't know
a
about that one.
light brown.
Bowman's Glove.
Well, I don't think I've talked enough about this, but I have a bit of a soft spot for spellcasters.
Mm-hmm.
I might have said it once or twice, you know, but like, I'm a sucker for wizards and sorcerers. I've been trying to expand it a little bit with.
Warlocks.
I've never played a warlock actually. Artificer was one of my like branch out classes, especially since you could reflavor a lot of the magic. And then like paladin and cleric were kind of my branch outs. I don't think I played a bard either, but I think I'd enjoy a bard or a druid one day.
I haven't played a druid. How did you like playing Boo Ball?
Fun. I definitely went heavy into just like the support role, but I do know that I feel like druids they're pretty wide range in how you create them. Like you could be like
Swiss
an
Army
all
knife.
out, just an attacker. You just jump in there, turn it into sweet animals.
In our party makeup, we don't have like any like real big brawler dude. So our druid, played by Tori, he's gonna be our tank.
Okay.
Which is pretty fun.
We're kind of in a similar spot.
Yeah.
And we have casters all over the place in our party.
This would be interesting.
Our party
Glass cannon party.
Our party makeup is warlock, druid, cleric, rogue.
I
I
don't
have
think
a
I've ever played a paladin.
artificer, warlock, Wizard.
Sorcerer.
sorcerer. Wow, yeah, definitely heavy on the magic. I'm excited for that though.
But hey,
Or-
if
or
we
new
die,
ones.
we
You're
die.
pretty
you know?
dynamic.
But I'm a
casting-wise,
battlesmith,
or casting
so
group, I'll say.
I'm not beefy. I'm not like paladin or barbarian level, but
You're
I
much
could take some
beefier than the
hits.
average caster.
Yeah.
though.
That's how my guy is. He's like a hexblade, and he's like a kind of a
Oh.
beefier hexblade.
And then
warlock.
clerics might not be full on tank, but like they generally have a pretty high AC.
Yeah. And the Warforged thing. Warforged can be pretty.
So I'm gonna ask you one more time, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you
It's
think?
blue and white. I'm sorry, Nate.
Hey man, it's okay. It's funny. Really.
I'm not crying. Wait, what was the one I was even?
Hey, what wash did you use in your magical weapons? Did you say?
Well, that's why I used to.
Okay,
I'm
you want
trying
me to be
remember.
nitpicky?
Like fur.
Sure.
Here's the one thing
Was it this one?
is that red on the back of his
No, this
boot
was the red one
purposeful?
that I tried, and I was like, no.
Because I would just take a green and just
No,
cover
yeah,
over
that's-
that.
This
That's
hiding right in
not.
front of
That's
me?
supposed to be his
Probably.
fin.
Probably.
No, please be nitpicky. Where is the green?
This one?
Yes. Do you mind if I just use that for one
Alright,
second?
I'm not using it.
This is what I used on his magics to make him look
Oh,
kind
that's
of
I would.
ethereal.
Pretty
Because
gnarly.
I'm a hexblade. Could I use that for my trident?
Yeah, man.
Thank you for noticing that. Actually.
No, but for reals, Nate, like looking at your mini, I'm like, yeah, he's already better at painting minis than I am.
Well, thank you. I don't believe that looking at your mini. My character wears Birkenstocks,
Can I see that other green that you got?
or whatever the fantasy equivalent would be.
It already sounds pretty high fantasy just on their own.
So I loved it when when Andrea asked for a fantasy Coke. It's like, are we allowed to say anything copyrighted? Is fantasy Pepsi okay?
I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed every crew I think I was on. That first one was really fun. That second one, I think I really enjoyed that my second week with all four of us.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that team.
Them was good people.
I don't think any combination of any group from that season 3, any of the cast would have been a bad group though.
Oh, it's a good thing my eyesight isn't terrible. It'd just be really hard.
My brain went to. Oh snap! The llama movie with
First new group.
Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you're not a big fat guy. This would be really hard.
Oh, David Spade. You stay in our memories where you belong.
Emperor's New Groove was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
One of my favorites.
it's an
growing
original
up.
story, and that was pretty boss.
For all those viewers watching, isn't painting just energetic
Really
and
exciting.
just filled with
All of us
twists and turns?
desperately trying not to curse.
That'll be a theme of our show.
Oh, yeah.
Davis head out. Oh, he's right there. Hey,
He's just swiping on Tinder.
can you blame him?
Oh.
You already went through the inventory.
He's a humble man now.
I missed that culture by like a month. I feel like.
I'll pass on dating for a while.
Chagrin.
Chagrin. It's a great word.
That's what I was thinking of too.
I don't know, man. All I'm saying is you had a date that I saw you on once, and it seemed like it was going very well.
Which one?
When you came by the Hive, when me and Steve were here working.
No, that was a nice day, but no.
Did you decide that, or did she? At the risk of her being one of our viewers, it sounded like she was having a great time.
It was fun. It was so fun.
If anyone out there is interested, Davis is on the market.
And he's a very hunky man.
It's true. They're true facts.
But you know they're true because you have to say them over and over again.
He's the Eagles' finest, I'd say. When I say finest, I mean finest.
There's a gray out there somewhere.
Might be
Maybe
a
a
little
little
on the
lasting.
nose, but we're gonna try it.
That looks great, man.
I had to check.
Yours
I
does
really
look very
enjoyed that,
cool.
Rhea.
Bringing back such fun memories of being a high schooler playing Warhammer 40,000.
I was gonna say, I'm painting
Painting,
whole armies.
painting and painting and painting.
A little craftsman.
Make him look a little more poised. Going
It's
for a
cool that we
blood-
don't all have like the same base color, right? Like we're not trying to be, like we're doing our own thing.
Let's
right?
go for the
That's okay.
into the
Oh,
next.
well, I
Or
mean,
do you want us to have like all the
well,
same base
here's no, I don't want you to have all the same base color. I was gonna say, here's the thing. In my opinion, if we had brightly colored bases that helped differentiate you on camera,
Oh.
that would be probably wise.
Like I made mine
I
big
don't
old
think
blue.
we have to do that.
Okay.
And we could even theoretically try and find a way of putting like some sort of colored ring around the bases or something. I know some people have hex bases, some people have circular bases. We
Yeah,
could figure
I
it
think
out.
I'm the only one in this group
am
that
all about
has
that base.
circular. Oh wait, no, you do.
Mhm.
You have circular. You have.
What does Petra have? Hex?
And you're doing yours. Oh, that was the primer, right?
Yeah.
That's gray.
Mine will be very warped though because I've been gripping it very hard, so it's got fingerprints all over it, and it's a little misshapen.
She's got it in that death grip.
Oh yeah. Painting is a very high stress thing for me, so I just Crunch it.
That's part of why I fell out of the hobby is when I do it on my own. I'm just sitting there making mistakes and being like, oh, now it's gonna take even longer. I just want it to be done.
Have to